Yep. So I am live. Let me check a little bit. Yep, everything is fine. So I'm finally back after a long and long break because I have too much things upon my shoulders. So I have to offload them first and then I have to come back to this beautiful, beautiful channel. So I'm finally back. This is not a usual live stream, this is not a watch along. I'm trying something new. So this is a live stream in which I will give my prediction for the upcoming gaming week that will start from today at late at night according to IST. And I hope that you will like this new show on this channel. And first thing first, I will talk about the Champions League draw, the quarter final draw, and I think I have a lot of things to talk about regarding that. So I will definitely first talk about that, and then I will move on to the Premier League fixture. So just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So as you can see, it will be Chelsea versus Real Madrid. I will talk about it later. Now, moving on to the next fixture of the quarter final, that is Inter Milan versus Benfica. This, I think, is a very great fixture for Benfica because defensively, Inter is a very strong team, but Benfica overall is a very powerful team, and all the Portuguese teams are doing really well this time in Europe. If you look at how Sporting played yesterday against Arsenal, then it was absolutely beautiful and defeating Arsenal in Emirates. That too in the penalty shootout is an incredible job. And at the end, their goalkeeper was in absolute god mode. So this was beautiful fixture for both uh, Benfica and Inter Milan. And I think you can't predict. You definitely can't predict that who will win in this fixture. So Adish Sharvos is in the house. Hello, I'm back after a long time. It's good to see you too in this channel. So thanks for you for joining. Now moving on to the next fixture, that is Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. This is going to be the gold. This is going to be the gold. This is going to be absolutely the gold because you can't say who will win in this fixture. This will be Haaland versus Alfonso Davies, Pep Guardiola versus Joao Cancelo. Anything and everything can happen. This is an absolute open fixture, and no one we can predict that who will win in this fixture. This is going to be beautiful, and two big teams. This is the, I would say that both Manchester City and Bayern Munich will be very upset with this draw because this is the worst possible draw for both of them because nobody will can expect that two giants of Europe will clash together, and Pep Guardiola will again have a reunion with Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. This is going to be really amazing. Yes, I am back after a long time. So overall, everything is going to be super bombastic in this match, and I don't know what will happen, but beautiful things we will see. And you can't write off. Anything can happen, and I you can't even say that who will score the goal because anything can happen. This will be a proper big European clash, and I think everybody. This is going to be the biggest fixture of the Champions League, at least as of now. Then moving on to Napoli versus AC Milan. So I think this is actually a good fixture for both Napoli and AC Milan. Don't say all these things. I don't know. I will have zero comments. I don't want to comment anything about it. So now moving on to Napoli versus AC Milan. So Napoli has a clear 18-point lead in Serie A, and they are on the verge of repeating history. They won the league when last time Diego Maradona won the World Cup. Sorry, for Argentina. Now Lionel Messi has won the World Cup. Again, Argentina has won the World Cup, and again Napoli is clearly leading, and in all probability they will win. There's no doubt in that. And AC Milan is slightly struggling. Also, they are having a slight patch of injuries, so that's why they have a little bit down. And overall, I think this will be a great Serie A fixture, frankly speaking. And I think that Napoli will play really good, and I can see actually Napoli to move to the semi-finals of the Champions League this year, and probably to the finals. But you can't say with this quarterfinal draw, anything and everything can happen. So Napoli will have a very big match with AC Milan, because AC Milan will have to play all the Serie A matches with their first team, whereas Napoli can rest some of their top players and play with AC Milan in the Champions League in the both the leagues with the top team, fully rested squad, and that will have a beautiful win. And Karavaskia, I know I'm butchering his name, and Osimhen is flying and absolutely in a form of their life. So this is Napoli's year, frankly speaking. This is Napoli's year. Even if they don't go to the finals of the Champions League, or if they get surprisingly knocked out in the quarterfinals, but I think nobody would have expected Napoli to do this far when all their major big so-called big name players have left them, and they are on the verge of winning the league, and they will win the league because they have clear 18 points lead. So now moving on to the main fixture, the main talking point, that is Chelsea versus Real Madrid. The 14th-time Champions League winner versus 2 times Champions League winner. The exact repetition of the last year's fixture. So anything can happen, and you can't say that who who will win this fixture. The first leg will be on the Bernabeu, and the second leg will be on the Stamford Bridge. And only Real Madrid won once against Chelsea, that too in the previous Champions League in the quarterfinals, and that too was in the Stamford Bridge. But in the Bernabeu, Chelsea almost made a comeback against Real Madrid, and it was only because of Carlo Ancelotti's that eyebrow that Chelsea could not go past the eventual uh, champions of Euro, that is Real Madrid. So this is going to be a lot of heavy fixture for both the teams. And with current form, I would say that Real Madrid is going to be the hot favorite, and Chelsea is going to play as underdog. And also there is one great fact or stat that I heard today, that is Graham Potter is the second English manager, just the second English manager to win 5 Champions League matches. That's a big deal. I know a lot of Chelsea fans were very angry with Graham Potter. Sorry. And they wanted him to get sacked. But after the comeback against Borussia Dortmund, again the beautiful win against Leicester, and hard-fought win, I must say that Graham Potter is slowly turning things around. So if Chelsea wins against Real Madrid, it will be a big uh, news for Graham Potter, because he will gain the fans, and he will also get a huge support. And then I think the Chelsea's graph will only go up. There is no doubt, only up. And This is going to be a very very big match because first will be on the Bernabeu, and Chelsea actually defeated Real Madrid on the Bernabeu, and Real Madrid has the lowest win percentage against Chelsea in European competition, and they have only won once. I think they have faced 14 times, and they have won against Palace in the last Champions League in the Stamford Bridge. So this year you can't actually say that Real Madrid will easily go past Chelsea. And one more thing, that Real Madrid is not in the very very good form that they had previous year in the Champions League, and also they are struggling in the La Liga, slightly behind uh, Barcelona, which is a big deal, and they have also many El Clasicos to face. So I think the next Europe, next April will be very very important for both Chelsea and Real Madrid. And if Chelsea keeps on winning in Europe, keeps on winning in April, sorry, then I think they will give a very very tough fight to Real Madrid. So that's my views about this championship draw. I think this has been a phenomenal draw, an absolute beauty. Now let's have a look at the Premier League fixture, game week 28, the battle of game week 28. Just give me a second. So I hope you can see the fixtures list from the Premier League website. So as you can see, the first match, that is Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. So I think Newcastle is the hot favorite to win this match, but they are suffering from injury, and I think that Nick Pope will not be available for this fixture. And Nottingham Forest is not in a very great form. And if you look at the Premier League table, just give me a minute. So if you see, Newcastle is in for 14th position. Nottingham Forest, sorry, Nottingham Forest in the 14th position, and they are separated from the relegation zone by just 2 points. So this is going to be a very very important match uh, for Nottingham Forest point of view, and also for Newcastle, because Newcastle main goal this year is to qualify to the Champions League, and they are playing beautifully. They have got all tall defenders. That's why they are defending all the aerial duels beautifully, and they have great insect pieces. They have got Kieran Trippier, and Nick Pope is also great. They have got Patrick Schick, who is in phenomenal form. All, but they have got slight patches of injury, and they are slightly down. But overall, I don't expect Nottingham Forest to upset. mm, But I think in the worst case scenario, I think Newcastle may drop point, but I don't expect Nottingham Forest to actually win. Although they have got great players like goalkeeper Keylor Navas, but still I don't expect Nottingham Forest actually to win against Newcastle. Now the next is the good evening, that is Unai Emery versus Bournemouth. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. So this is going to be a very, very good fixture, and Aston Villa is in brilliant form since Unai Emery has been appointed as their manager, and they are beautifully playing, and it's not very, very easy to defeat Aston Villa on their home. So it's going to be a very, very big match. And Bournemouth is also not in a very good form. They're on the relegation zone. They're currently sitting on the 18th position. So it's going to be a really difficult match for Bournemouth, and it is actually a mm, do or die match for actually Bournemouth because they need to win this match. Because if you look at their upcoming fixtures, wait, just let me see. I don't know where it is. Let me just see. Where it is. Sorry, I don't know where it is, but let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. But I don't know where it is. But but it's going to be not a very easy fixture for Bournemouth because defeating Aston Villa in their home is a really, really tough job. And Unai Emery is doing phenomenal job in Aston Villa. So I don't expect actually. Wait. I actually don't expect Bournemouth to do an upset over here. Although they have defeated Liverpool, but Liverpool is in a very, very bad form. So I don't expect actually to ask actually Aston Villa to make a comeback. I actually don't Bournemouth to win over Aston Villa, and I think Aston it will be an easy game for Aston Villa, and they will win. I think 2-1 or 1-0. Then is Brentford versus Leicester. This is going to be a very, very important match for Leicester because Leicester too is in a relegation battle and Brentford is in beautiful form. And Ivan Toney will definitely play because his ban, that decision on his ban will most likely be in the next season, not in this season. So, keeping that in mind, I think Brentford will easily win Leicester. So, I also expect that Leicester will try their best, but it will be Brentford. It will be Brentford side, and that too in Brentford's home. So I think it will be easy victory for Brentford. And I predict a 2-1 victory for Brentford. Now moving on to Spurs versus Southampton. So Spurs being Spurs, they are in a really bad form, and Southampton is on the last position, that's in the 20th place, and they will definitely get relegated, no doubt in that. And Chelsea is actually trying very hard to sign Romeo Lavia, the midfielder, which they feel that will suit them their need because many Chelsea players like Gallagher or Ruben Loftus-Cheek, midfielders especially, they may leave and Chukwuemeka may be sent on a loan. I'm not sure regarding that, and there are rumors also that Chelsea is ready to accept bids for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and I think that this match for Spurs is going to be really important, but because if they lose this one, finishing top four will be very difficult for them, frankly speaking. And Southampton, I don't think that they will win, but you never know because they held Manchester United in a draw, though Manchester United was playing with a one man down because Casemiro got a red card. But still, I don't expect that Southampton to defeat Spurs. But you know, Spurs is Spurs. They can do everything. They can defeat Manchester City, and then they can lose to Southampton. Anything can happen. And I don't. I think Antonio Conte's tenure in Spurs is over. I think he will not renew his contract. Let me drink some water. I think Antonio Conte will definitely leave Spurs. So I think I also expect that either Son or Harry Kane will definitely leave Spurs because if Harry Kane is nearly 30 years of age, if I am not wrong. Just let me check. So, if Harry Kane actually wants to win trophy, then he will have to leave. If that's his goal. If he wants to win trophy, then Harry Kane will have to leave. There is no option. And Harry Kane, though he is Tottenham's top goal scorer, but still I think that if you don't win a trophy at the end of your career, and it's really bad when you are England's captain and you are in that form. He's 29 years of age, so he's nearly towards the end cycle of his career. So I think he will definitely will leave Spurs because there's no doubt they are knocked out of the Champions League, they are out of the FA Cup, they are out of the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup actually Manchester United won, so obviously they are out. So in Premier League also they are struggling, and so I don't expect a much. And moreover, Antonio Conte has signed a lot of players whom it doesn't give a start, like Richarlison, who gave a very bombastic interview Antonio Conte on Richarlison, and then there's Kulusevski, then there's Pedro Porro, who is now on the bench because Emerson Royal, who was in the shittiest form and was absolutely doing shithousery everywhere, is now doing phenomenal and is actually now has cemented his position as the number one choice. But then there's Bissouma. We have hardly seen Bissouma play, so there is a lot of things wrong going on. And Kulusevski also is at a very good form, so I don't feel that Spurs in a very good position. Yes, they are on the race for the top four, and they will probably finish in the top four because Chelsea and Liverpool is in a very bad form, and there is literally zero chance of Chelsea and Liverpool to finish in the Champions League room. The highest I think Chelsea can go is in the top six, maybe, and the highest Liverpool can go is in the top five. But I don't expect them to finish in the top four. Definitely not expecting the top four. There's no chance. Brighton can finish, Brentford can finish, Newcastle can finish, but not Chelsea and Liverpool. No chance. And I think the realistic destination for Harry Kane, if he leaves Spurs, then it will be either Bayern Munich or Manchester United. I think Manchester United will go full on for Harry Kane because he's a Premier League proven player. He likes the Premier League. And I don't think that he will go to Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich is not a team that will pay a hefty transfer fee to sign a player. So that's why I think the most likely destination of uh, Harry Kane is Manchester United because Manchester United needs a striker. And with all respect to because he is a defensive striker. He has reinvented a position or invented a position known as a defensive striker, in which a striker's role is to defend, is to press but not to score goals, which is I think a very innovative idea, and I really have a huge respect for Weghorst and huge respect for Eric Ten Hag. Now moving on to the next fixture, that is Wolves versus Leeds. So this is going to be again a big match because both the teams are struggling and both the teams are in the relegation battle. So this is going to be a very big match for both the teams. It will be Julian Lopetegui versus Leeds. Leeds, who are more or less in a very bad zone. They have sacked Jesse Marsh and they have nobody. Just give me a second. So I'm back. The problem is that Leeds is absolutely in a very bad form. And moreover, I think that there were rumors that Chelsea wants Leeds goalkeeper Messier. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Let me again recheck it. Messier, sorry. Jan Messier, the French international. But Is it that good? Because Chelsea actually wants to sell Edward Mendy and Kepa. They want to promote Gabriel Surina, who is rumored to be the first player to go for the training and the last player to leave the training ground. And he's going back to sleep at every day at the 10 p.m. and he's following schedule point by point and with full focus. It's a very very good for a young player like Slorina, but selling Edward Mendy and Kepa and signing a new goalkeeper like that of Ian Messiller, I don't think it's a good idea for Chelsea. But let's see. And I don't know what will happen because this is a very, very crazy season. Because if you look at the fixture from the last 12 teams, from the 12th to 8th position, all the teams are actually on a relegation battle. See, Crystal Palace has just sacked Vieira, Patrick Vieira, and then there's Wolves, who has sacked the manager and has signed appointed Lopetegui. Then there's Nottingham Forest, who is in a very good bad form. Still, they have somehow managed to keep themselves in the 14th position. Then there's Everton, 25th. Sean Dyche is doing actually decent and trying to keep them up. Then there's Leicester, who is again in a very bad form, and they also can go down. Then there is West Ham, who is again in a very bad form. So all these teams are absolutely in a shitty form, and all of them can go down. You see, Leeds is on the 19th position, and they have played one less match to that of Southampton, and Everton has played also one match more. So anything can happen, and you can never know what will happen. And if you see the goal difference of these teams, then my God, all of them are considered minimum more than 8 goals, and they are on a -8 goal. The lowest is I think Leicester with -9 goal difference. Rest each and every one of them is a very very bad form, so anything can happen. So let's see. Now moving on again to the fixtures. The next match is wait, what happened? Oh, sorry. So the next is Chelsea versus Everton. I will speak about it a little bit later. Moving on to Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. This is going to be a very very big match for both the teams because Arsenal just got knocked out of the Europa League, and this is a big big blow to them because now they are only in one competition, that is in the Premier League, and they are now sitting in the first position. But this defeat or this defeat to the Sporting, that too in the Emirates Stadium and in the penalty shootout, will have a big, big impact on the mindset of all the players. And also, Saliba is injured, Tomiyasu is injured, and Tomiyasu is out for rest of the season because he was on the scratches. And Saliba, although Arteta feels that it's not a very big injury, it's a slight uh, pull of muscles, and he was in the sitting in the dugout and was joking with all the players. Uh, but still, I think that getting knocked out of the Europa League is going to have at least some impact on Arsenal. Maybe positively, maybe negatively, who knows? And also, Crystal Palace has just sacked their manager Patrick Vieira. Again, a former Arsenal legend. And they are also in a relegation battle. So God knows what will happen. And I don't know who they will appoint as the interim manager because I don't think any decent manager is there who can actually keep them up. And Arsenal will have to get all 3 points from this fixture. They cannot drop point. I think they have a 5 point lead over Manchester City, but I think now from now on they cannot drop any point because they are out of the Europa League. Their full and 100% focus should be on the uh, Premier League, and they should go 100% in the Premier League. Hello, it's good to see you after a long time. So again, moving back to Arsenal, I think that now they should give their 100% and to the Premier League. They will have to win the Premier League, or they will become just a laughing stock. So this is going to be a very important fixture for Arsenal, and also for Crystal Palace. I don't think Crystal Palace will win. The highest that Crystal Palace can expect is a draw, but I don't expect because when you are playing with when you are actually playing with a striker who is not a proper striker, that is Jordan Ayew, then you can't actually expect to stay up. So let's see what happens. And many teams will not play in this game, be like Manchester United, then Liverpool, then I think Fulham is also not there. Fulham, then Manchester City, the Manchester United are all because of the FA Cup. So I think that this game week is going to be very important for Arsenal, for Chelsea, because if Chelsea now moving on to Chelsea actually, so if Chelsea actually wins against Everton, because the last time Chelsea played against Everton was the season opener, in which we narrowly won because of the penalty from by Jorginho. Or else we played a very bad game and we were absolutely boring. And I think Everton is coming will be coming to this match with a very big confidence because they have actually defeated Everton. They actually defeated Brentford. Then I think they have defeated Southampton. So Chelsea also will come to this match with a brilliant form because they have defeated uh, Leicester. They have defeated made a Champions League comeback against Borussia Dortmund. So this is going to be a very important and very interesting match to watch because both Chelsea and Everton are in the pole position, and I don't know what we can expect from this match because Everton will go full on defense because that is Sean Dyche. We will see a Sean Dyche masterclass, or we could see a Potter ball. And if the Sean Dyche masterclass, then it will be a 100% boring match, and I think it will be Chelsea's offense versus Everton's defense, and we all know how shit is Chelsea in finishing. So you can't expect a lot of goals in this match. Definitely not from Chelsea. Even if Chelsea keeps up about 21 or 100 shots on target, but still you can't expect a lot of goals from Chelsea. So overall, this is going to be a very important match for Chelsea. And if Chelsea wins this match, then if you take a look at the Premier League table, then Chelsea with this win will go slightly above the table. That is in the table, they will go to the ninth position, and Fulham will come down to 10th. So it will not a big impact on the Premier League table, but still it will have a huge impact for Chelsea in terms of their morale, in terms of their mentality, because they would have to face Real Madrid, a European giant, the giant whom we usually defeat in the Champions League. So, if you want to face Real Madrid, that too on the Santiago Bernabeu on the first leg of the quarter final, from now on you should give your 100% on all the Premier League fixtures because you are only left in the Premier League and in the Champions League. So you should give 100% to your concentration on the Premier League and win or expect to win all the matches. And then we can go and face Real Madrid confidently. We are on a positive direction. We are on an upward surge. We have played beautifully against Leicester. We have played beautifully against uh, Dortmund. Also, Dortmund was absolutely shit, and so we can actually have somewhat fight. We can give somewhat fight for the European spots. I don't want Chelsea to finish in the Conference League because Conference League is useless. But I hope Chelsea will go for the Europa League spot or at least give some fight for the Champions League spots. Chelsea for the fourth position. At least give a fight to Liverpool. At least give a fight to Brentford, to Brighton, and to Spurs. So let's see how things go. So that's it for this uh, live stream. So I hope you have enjoyed it. So this is a new show that I have just introduced to this channel, and I'm back. I had a lot of things on my plate. Now the plate is clear, so I can finally, and at last focus on this channel. So from now on, you can expect a regular content and beautiful, enjoying content. I'm also talking to a lot of people to come to this channel and have some chat with you all. So let's see how things go in the future. So and always remember to keep the blue flag flying high. See you very soon, maybe on the watch along for this Everton versus Chelsea match. I'm not. I can't give you a promise, but let's see. And hopefully, I will. Chelsea will overcome Everton. Chelsea will overcome the dice ball, and I think it will be a beautiful match with Harry Potter on one side and Triple H on the other side. And I hope that Harry Potter, with his magical powers and with the full support of the Hogwarts of Stamford Bridge, uh, will win. So let's see. Although I don't know, is it a home match? Let me see, a home fixture. If it's a home fixture, then they will get the 100% support of the Hogwarts. That is the Stamford Bridge. Yes, this match will be in the Hogwarts, in the Stamford Bridge. So let's see. See you very soon, and always remember to keep the blue flag flying high and up the cheers.